So even if they do release this information, even if they do release these names, yes, they'll be disgraced by the public, but nobody's going to get in any real trouble for this because they should have already. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, people are no longer talking about the failure that was the file's release. But for whatever reason, people will still believe the distractions. They will still believe the theatrics. And people are now, again, talking about just a day later, this big blow up. And something about this really does not sit right with me. Something about this is off. And I'm not talking about who's right, who's wrong. Just something seems weird about this whole thing. And it was kind of confirmed when these news articles were coming out 33 times when Zelensky publicly thanked Americans and United States leadership since the conflict in 2022. 33 times a certain calling card has been revealed. Does anybody truly believe that it's a coincidence that, and you can comment below, it's fine. Do you truly believe that it's a coincidence Zelensky just happened to have thanked the United States exactly 33 times? A number that has been appearing in all these very bizarre news stories. A number that happens to be connected to a certain free people society. But even outside the news story of this big blow up, even looking at the news story of Gene Hackman, his wife, and their dog passing away in a very bizarre manner, there's even news stories coming out where they have to tell us the value of their home happens to be exactly $3.3 million. I broke down in my previous video how that was nothing but a big ritual, even down to the point that they are saying that their bodies were in the process of mummification. Yes, mummification is a real thing. Yes, their bodies could have been there unnoticed for quite some time, even though they have maintenance workers, they have families. But you have to look at everything as a whole, especially the very bizarre update to Gene Hackman's Wikipedia page that spoke about a ritual. Then last month in January, we had a news story where hostages were being returned from the Gaza ceasefire, phase one, mind you, and exactly 33 hostages were set to be returned. Then the Black Hawk American Airlines crash took place exactly on runway 33. And yes, there is a thing where we can look too deep into numbers, but this one number keeps appearing in all these very suspicious news stories. And it's very involved. It's not like it appears like somewhere in the story. No, it's in the major headline of the story. Like, it's not somewhere hidden within the story. It's not like, the address was 33 Way or the, somewhere 33 was hidden in the article. No, it is right there front and center in the actual title of these news articles, letting us know who are the ones pulling the strings, who these stories are really being created by. Now, again, if you don't know, 33 are the Free People Society. It's their number. It's their calling card. When I did my big breakdown of Barack Obama's scripted movie, Leave the World Behind, I said they are telling us who is in control of everything we are seeing. Even though there is a part in the movie where they say that no one's in control, if you actually do the breakdown and you see the symbolism, they are telling you it's the Free People Society. It's the higher up. It's not your peepaw who drives to Publix every day in his Lincoln with the bumper sticker. No, it's those in the higher echelons, the Luciferians and so forth. Remember that very odd story where a so-called Rothschild, and I don't know if he's a Rothschild or not. Some people are saying he's not. I really don't care, but news and media were saying that a Rothschild had passed away in a fire. And it took exactly 33 minutes to put out the fire. Who says that? Usually you would see approximately 30 minutes, approximately a half an hour. No, exactly 33 minutes to put out the fire. Now, I know some people, and I do see these comments often when it comes to talking about the number 33, that we're just number sensitive. We make a big deal out of numbers. We go too far into it. I'm not talking about 6, 7, 8. I'm talking about one number that constantly appears in every one of these bizarre news stories in the actual headline, in the actual title. It has an importance. Going back to AI, this is all scripted BS. It's all manufactured BS, just like we saw in, again, Barack Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind. Now, I'm not saying that certain events did not happen. I'm not saying that the crash between the Black Hawk and the American Airlines plane over runway 33 did not happen. But it, again, I have to say it to protect myself when it comes to YouTube, but things don't happen in ways that we believe they happen. Certain strings get pulled, so certain things can be allowed to happen. These are just some of the news stories where the number 33 has played a very important and significant role. Remember that news story I covered, I believe it was January, where an HVAC worker stumbled upon an apartment building. She walked right in, and she saw all these explosives, these guns, these firefighter and police costumes, these badges, and the building just happened to have been the 533 East 33rd Place building. Come on. How do you not see it? 533 East 33rd building, 33rd building. I can do just such a big video, and I think I will, on how important and significant the number 33 is to a certain group of people, and how often it has appeared in certain news stories, certain big stories. We can even go back to last year in, I believe it was 2024, the 2024 Super Bowl, where the number 3 had appeared constantly in that Super Bowl. So, and then we had this very bizarre story even before that, where 3 friends passed away in their friend's backyard. Like, we can just do so many interesting connections, and I think I will do that. Maybe I'll even do that in a live. I would love to do something like that in a live. So definitely look out for something like that. But before I go ahead and end this video, I will go ahead and play this video from a TikToker, Shep for the King, who does a great breakdown, his own version of why we see the number 33 appear all over in a lot of these news stories, and the significance and the importance of this number when it comes to certain organizations. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and give my breakdown at a later date, but I'm going to go ahead and play his video now.
Why 33? Why is it 33rd degree Masons?
So why is 33 the highest level of Freemasonry? And also, why does it seem like this number pops up everywhere? Well, there were several opinions and speculation on why the number 33. Kayla brought up one about how it goes back to the Nephilim, and also goes back to the fallen angels, how 1/3 of the angels rebelled. So there you go. 1/3 is 33.33. But in my personal opinion, the reason why you will see this number 33 everywhere and why it is the highest level or degree within the mystery religions is because it goes back to esoteric knowledge. And at the root of esoteric knowledge or mysticism is to ascend to become your own god. And the way they do this is through esoteric practices, which they believe you ascend up your spinal column or your spinal cord, which there happens to be 33 individual bones, which you understand as the vertebrae. As we can see from this picture right here, which I found on X from Maximum Pain 333, shows that 33 degrees represents enlightenment via ascension of the 33 vertebrae in our spine up to the brainstem, which is the medulla oblongata in the skull. Now, before I continue to read here, let me make something clear. This is what the mystery religions believe. Again, I am not endorsing this. I'm just telling you what they believe. Jesus is believed to have died at 33 in Golgotha, which translates as the skull or the place of the skulls. In the life of Christ from birth to ascension is believed to mirror the rise of the Kundalini or consciousness up the 33 vertebrae of the spine, with ascension occurring at Golgotha, or in the skull. Now, this teaching is found in Eastern mysticism and the occult, and the Kundalini spirit refers to the dormant power of energy present in every human being and lying like a coiled serpent in the etheric body of the base of the spine. According to this teaching, the spiritual force, while still asleep in the static form, is a creative energy which serves to vitalize the whole body. When awakened, again, this is all about esoteric knowledge of enlightenment and ascending through awakening and beginning to uncoil, this electric fiery force proves to be of a spiral nature, and hence the symbolic description of a serpent power. Now let's think here for a second. Where have we seen this before? Oh yeah, that's right. It is portrayed with the Baphomet. I'm just trying to give you a summary here, the Mat notes per se, of this whole situation, trying to show you how 33 goes to the ascension from the bottom of the spine up to the pineal gland to ascension with these esoteric mystical teachings or these groups that believe this. So again, going back to this Kundalini spirit, it progresses up the spine to the head, is to awaken the pineal gland. And this is why you will see one eye symbolism everywhere, especially on the back of your dollar bill. On the capstone of enlightenment goes back to the pineal gland and the eye of Horus. Again, is represented right here, going up the spine through all the different chakras into your pineal gland of ascension, enlightenment, awakening. All right, so let's go back here. So awaken the pineal gland, which again results in opening the third eye in the consequent revelation of the subtler planes of spiritual life. Now, depending on the denomination of mysticism you choose, again, it's not so clear and cut. Just like Christianity, there's different denominations. Likewise, with the esoteric mystery religions, there's different denominations. But how you channel or open this third eye through the Kundalini is by sustaining meditation, by study, disciplined living, and selfless service to humanity. The entire system will step by step be aroused, bringing the lower man under the influence of the soul. This will ensure a stimulus or simultaneous and parallel awakening of the etheric force centers and the dormant forces at the base of the spine. When this process is carried forward with the care and under suitable direction, the awakening will take its course gradually and normally and without incurring any danger. Let me put a bookmark right here, because this is all about you doing something, ascending through esoteric knowledge and discipline to then become your own god, which at the root is Luciferianism, which I'm going to come back to. So with these esoteric teachings and in the lodges, they believe your spine, the 33 steps to your pineal gland, is Jacob's ladder. And this is why you will see lodge artwork like this right here, where you have the ladder in the center, which is Jacob's ladder, your spine in the center, which will always go up to the all-seeing eye, which again goes back to your pineal gland. Apparently, from things I've read, the middle pillar right here again represents the spine. At the bottom, the W represents wisdom. On this pillar right here, the bottom with the B represents beauty, and this one right here, the S, represents strength. Now, these pillars are also represented within the Tree of Life found in the Kabbalah. For those who do not know, the Kabbalah is a form of Jewish mysticism that adds spiritual depth to Jewish practice. Again, this all goes back to the occult, esoteric knowledge, and mysticism. If you do further research, you will see that there is a connection between Freemasonry and the Kabbalah. Now we can see here that the pillars may be representing 2 out of the 3 pillars of the Tree of Life, the Jewish mystical symbol for the creation of the universe. The names of the 3 pillars of the Tree of Life were often seen as strength, wisdom, and the third pillar being harmony. So again, there's a different flavor there with this one. Harmony instead of beauty. So placed between them. Thus, when a candidate passes between them, he in essence becomes harmony, enlightened, and enters a life in which the spiritual dominates the physical. Now, I want to make sure to distinguish the difference between the Kabbalistic Tree of Life from the Tree of Life that appears alongside the Tree of Knowledge of Good and Evil found in Genesis. Now let's go back to the Kundalini spirit and the significance of the serpent, which we know ancient serpent worship was a widespread religious practice in many ancient cultures. And the symbol of the serpent is deeply occultic. In general, the symbol of the serpent is both of wisdom and of the wise. Now there's various reasons on why the serpent is chosen as a symbol of wisdom, but some of the reasons is because it glides secretly and for the most part is unseen. It sheds its skin and becomes anew, just like you can grow with wisdom, shedding old things and refining your wisdom. It has a forked tongue, which shows the bipolar nature of wisdom, that you can use it for good or evil. Hey, that's where I've seen that forked tongue before. Now, some serpents have venom, which can be deadly, but can also be healing. And then the picture of the serpent eating itself, which is the Ouroboros, is representing wisdom that is eternal, that you can grow in wisdom for all eternity. Again, I'm not telling you I believe this. I am just presenting to you information on what they believe. Interesting how you have a forked tongue and also that ring right there that kind of looks like the Ouroboros. Now, again, at the core of this all is Luciferianism. It doesn't matter what flavor or denomination you choose, whether it is Eastern mysticism, Hinduism, Jewish mysticism, Freemasonry, whatever occult practice, secret society you're within, the principle at the root is Luciferianism, because Luciferianism is about the seeking of knowledge from both within and without. Luciferians model themselves after Lucifer, and we can see this doctrine of trying to become your own God being traced back to Isaiah 14, where we see Lucifer says, "I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mountain of congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." It's all about I. This is why enlightenment is the ultimate goal for the Luciferian. All knowledge is good. Ignorance, however, leads to all sorts of problems, hatred, lack of success, and the inability to advance. Unlike other belief systems in which faith plays a primary role, we know with Hebrews 11:6, only faith can please God. Now with Luciferians celebrate knowledge of all types as the key to enlightenment and happiness in this life. The Luciferians do not try to convert. They consider themselves a member of an elite group of self-determined people. This is also why we are witnessing the rise of New Age doctrine creeping into the church and actually at the world at large. I tried to fit as much information as possible within a short video here to show you why I believe 33 is the highest degree within the lodges, and also why we see that number everywhere. And the reason why you see that number everywhere is because it is like a fingerprint or a sigil or a stamp showing to others what's going on or who's behind it. But with that being said, the main takeaway of this video is to try to show you how there is a legitimate enemy. Just like God has the children of God, the children of light, you also have the enemy, the children of darkness, who disguise themselves as angels of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14, how he appears as an angel of light, just like his messengers or his apostles will also come as workers of light. They will deceive many, and they are trying to promote yourself. It's all about the self. It's all about you ascending, whether it's white magic, black magic, you do it for good or you do it for bad, it's selfless or selfish. It's all about you doing something to ascend through esoteric knowledge, wisdom, or whatever. Within their belief system, they mock faith.
Now, like I said, I'm going to be doing my own view of the number 33, but in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.